don't think people that cover sports are journalists. I don't. It's essentially e-news for men. But when someone puts together a very good piece, I'll give them credit. And I got to give credit to clutchfans.net, a website that I have sometimes been annoyed by in the past. I think a lot of the Rockets blogs and a lot of the Rockets stands online can be very insufferable. But clutchfans.net put together an article that details just how out of hand this Kevin Porter Jr. situation has become. And I mean, it's crazy that they haven't just cut him. And I get it. There's an investigation, all of that stuff. But no, I mean, it's crazy that he has not been cut before this incident. More on that in a moment. I think Rafael, however the hell I'm supposed to say his name, is completely unqualified for his job. I don't understand how he somehow became the president of basketball operations or a general manager when this is a guy who played D3 basketball at Williams College, where he got a degree in African American studies and political science. So your token, like, these degrees aren't going to help me out at all with my next career. He went to Stanford Law. Okay, good law school. Then he worked as a member at a merger and acquisition market group. He joined the Rockets in 2005 as general counsel. He became executive vice president of basketball operations, and I have no idea how that happened. Because as general counsel, he was responsible for legal matters related to the franchise. Now, all of a sudden, this is a basketball mind? What, because he has an office down the hall from Daryl Morey? I don't understand how it makes sense. It's the Fertittas, I suppose. Perhaps it's Tillman. Perhaps it's the Sun. I don't know. I don't care. Rafael Stone, you can't tell me the guy's qualified to be the general manager of an NBA team. You just can't. There's nothing there. And if you read this article, you will see that not only has Kevin Porter Jr. done a million things, but that for whatever reason, Rafael Stone views Kevin Porter Jr. as his own personal James Harden, which, of course, made Daryl Morey's career. He took a huge gamble on a guy who sucked in the 2012 NBA Finals, but had shown that he had a lot of promise as a sixth man in Oklahoma City. He turns him into the star of the Houston Rockets, and the rest is history. The last decade of Rockets basketball, at least from a win-loss perspective, maybe not from a watching perspective, has been pretty damn good. But Rafael Stone has an obsession with Kevin Porter Jr. that has led to him and people in Rockets management to overlook the things that happened before he came to Houston, being suspended multiple times in high school, a conduct issue at USC that led to him being suspended indefinitely, being accused of punching a woman in the face in Cleveland, a gun and marijuana charge that was later dismissed after getting into a car crash, a confrontation with the Cleveland coach and GM that led to the Cavaliers dumping him to the Rockets for nothing, or these things that supposedly happened here with the Rockets, per this ClutchFans.net piece. Austin Rivers said this isn't the first, second, or even seventh issue with Porter Jr., the one where, you know, he woke up his girlfriend allegedly by punching her repeatedly, strangling her, and not stopping hitting her until she ran out of the hotel room screaming for help and covered in blood. More horror stories about Kevin Porter Jr., who Rafael Stone is obsessed with, per ClutchFans.net. Porter Jr. was routinely a nightmare for Rockets coaches to deal with. On several occasions, he confronted and cussed out members of the coaching staff, saying they didn't have the credentials, per source. A reference to the fact that him playing heavy minutes at point guard was a decision they did not control. You're right. It was a decision that was controlled by the general effing manager of the basketball team, Rafael Stone. More. Once at a night out, Porter Jr. had a disagreement with a DJ over music choice, and he snapped, smashing the DJ's laptop to the floor. He needed to be restrained and removed. Rockets personnel and several of Porter's teammates witnessed the incident. More. Myra Kurzer, his girlfriend's lawyer, at the arraignment of Kevin Porter Jr., said he has a history of abusing his girlfriend, who he had only been dating since early last year. There was an incident where he allegedly rammed his car into hers. There's a couple of stories which maybe this isn't the biggest deal in the world. Got into an argument on the bench with assistant coach Lionel Hollins. I talked to somebody off the record, and they said that one might not be that big of a deal. But then the incident where he left the Rockets in the middle of a game, he physically shoved Rockets assistant coach John Lucas, who is supposedly the godfather of Kevin Porter Jr.'s girlfriend, quit on the team in the middle of the game. He should have been gone then. But why isn't he gone? Rafael Stone. Some in the organization, per this article, believe that this is Stone's Harden acquisition. Stone had him play at point guard, even though Steven Silas, who again, maybe not the most credibility in the world, didn't think he was a point guard. More. John Wall, who, okay, maybe not the same John Wall he used to be, but I think more qualified as a point guard than Kevin Porter Jr. He was told that Rafael Stone was the one who wanted him to come off the bench. We've talked about this before. Silas even told him, you don't deserve that. You should be the starter. More. Stone being obsessed with Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr., of all people. A guy averaging 20-plus points a game on the 29th best team in the NBA? Good God, how are you obsessed with this guy? Why do you think this guy is going to be your James Harden? Why do you think you're going to be able to replicate what Daryl Morey stumbled into? With restricted free agency on the horizon and a seemingly non-existent market for Kevin Porter Jr.'s services, the Rockets gave Porter Jr. an extension a year sooner. It was team-friendly, right? Oh, but now here they are trying to get off that $13 million that they have to pay him this coming season, trading him to anybody who will take him and probably trading a draft pick along the way. The Athletic's Kelly Iko summarized the Rockets' view of Porter Jr. this offseason, as has been their stance for months. The Rockets have maintained the notion that Porter is a priority and is considered a huge part of their core, along with Green and Jabari Smith Jr. Notice no Alperen Şengün there. They benched Şengün to start the season in large part to give KPJ a lob threat and a defender in the starting lineup. They gave Kevin Porter Jr. the superstar Harden locker. I guess there's a locker that's better than the other ones. They introduced him last in the starting lineups. They treated him as the star and empowered him to be the self-proclaimed head honcho of Clutch City. Despite all those things that we listed before. Clear head case, this guy. And honestly, not that good of a point guard. Doesn't seem to be showing much potential as a point guard. And the Rockets signed him to one of the team-friendliest deals ever. They still managed to overcommit and overpay, as Clutch fans writes. And Stone now scrambles to attach real assets so that they can get him off the books. I've never respected Rafael Stone. Zero qualifications to be a general manager, a corporate lawyer, and former D3 basketball player who had an office close to Daryl Morey. The Tillman Fertitta decided, you know what? I'm just going to move him down the hallway. And this is an organization that bent over backwards for James Harden, who I am not a fan of because he took advantage of it and then dipped. But Harden's never done any of the stuff that we listed there. And on top of that, at a moment in time, he was one of the league's best. This guy is a 20-point per game me guy on the worst team in the league and an a-hole off the court. Cut his ass, fire Rafael Stone. Fire Rafael Stone. If this is his magnum opus, the guy sucks. And we already know he's unqualified.